So before I begin, Preeti and all the other volunteers, let me know if I'm running out of time. I don't wear a watch and I don't want to look this side, rather look at all the lovely faces here. Friends, once I had gone for a similar, one program where one speaker before me was very, very passionate about what he wanted to talk about. And he started speaking and speaking and kept on speaking. He lost track of time. And then he went on and on and on. Finally, at the end, he sort of realized that his time is over. He sat down, he thanked everyone and said, I'm sorry, I lost track of time. I don't have a watch. So one bright person from the backside, shouted, Arey Baba, at least you could have seen the calendar. So I won't let that happen, don't worry. Having been involved with BCS activities, I understand the value of time, just like all the other volunteers of BCS. So I will stop on time whenever Preeti, starts fidgeting around and looking at her watch. So on 9th January, how many of you, when you read your result on the screen, how many of you immediately broadcast to the world, that finally the prefix CA before my name? Yeah, yeah, excellent. So we have Dipika Singh here to tell you whether what you did was right or wrong. But it's a great feeling, right? Yeah. So why is it a great feeling? Why were you so happy that you finally got the degree before your name? What are the reason for that happiness? Why did you want to become chartered accountant? Anyone has thought through that? I want, right from the time you started your articles, that I want to become a CA because I want to do this. Does anyone have that clarity, or did anyone have that clarity when you started off? Or even now, do you have that clarity? Great. So don't worry. When I passed 37 years back, I also had the same issue. So all of us are, same. Don't worry about that. But on a serious note, I think this is the time when all of you would be the most confused, right? Because pass ho gaye, ab kya karne ka, That's the problem. And the problem is further compounded as compared to my case, my generation and Zubin's generation long back, because you have so many options. And the problems start when you have multiple options. When in KBC there are only 4 questions, the chances are 25% success. But when you have multiple options, the chances of success are that much reduced because you have so many things to choose from, and you frankly have no idea what those things are. During articles, the focus was college, extracurricular activities, and a bit of audit here and there, little bit of tax here and there, and classes. I think classes was the focus, the most important, and then came everything else. Unfortunately, nobody teaches the CA students that is a totally reverse focus that you should have. The focus ought to be on learning and trying to figure out during those 3 years or now 2 years, in the new course, as to what is best suited for me once I become a chartered accountant. But anyway, uh, the, the confusion which is there in your mind is very, very commonplace. Everyone has it. So don't worry about that. Once the euphoria of having passed out comes, goes away, and you are back to reality, you will yourself start trying to figure out what's going to happen to my career. Any idea how many chartered accountants there in the country? Qualified chartered accountant? 3 lakh, 4 lakh around? Yeah. So even if it is 4 lakhs, counting all of you now, new additions. Okay. 4 lakh in a country of 140 crores. Yeah. So I think we are a privileged lot. And it's high time that we stop considering each other as competitors. Okay. Anyone coming for Dream Run tomorrow? Tata Marathon? Not a single one. Okay. Anyway, the Dream Run is all about just walking. Basically there's no place to even run. There are some 40,000 people. But the most important part about the Dream Run is that there is no prize. Nobody gets a prize. Everyone is there for fun. Everyone is there for the experience. I think please understand that your life as a chartered accountant is also like a dream run. You're not competing with each other. Yes, maybe when you go for a job, for a campus placement, and a particular company has come to take 5 people and there are, maybe 200 people, yes, At that point of time, you are in a race to be selected amongst the 200. But after that, there is no race. And the biggest problem our profession faces today is that we feel we are competitors rather than collaborators. And if there's one organization which teaches the reverse, that is, we are collaborators and not competitors, is the BCS. So I strongly, you know, agree with what Chirag said when he exhorted all of you to try out the BCS programs and become our members. But going forward, the question will be that when you are part of 200, 300, 500 people out in the market trying to get a job, how do you stand out? How do you make yourself differentiated, a different person as compared to the various people in the market? In a room full of people with black and white coats, the one in yellow. The point I'm trying to make is that you will have to make an effort to stand out, to be different, so that the person who is trying to hire differentiates between accountants, what are the options that are available for you. First is obviously practice, then could be industry, then there is business, or some people would also like to do further studies, some more degrees, add more degrees to your visiting card. I know some chartered accountants whose visiting card goes in two parts, because one part is full of degrees and the other part is full of name and address. So some people have this hobby, I collect stamps. Some people collect, degrees, but that's fine. Whether you collect degrees or you don't depends on what you want to do in life. So don't just think that I will do a CFA or CFP or this or that or MBA. MBA is the most popular thing after chartered accountancy. Some people also do law, LLB or company secretary. All these are options. But the bottom line is, why would you do that will depend on what you want to do ultimately in life. So when you are so confused, there's another problem in the works, another spanner in the works, which Chirag referred to, artificial intelligence. There is so much of natural intelligence in this world, and now we have artificial intelligence. It's trying to sort of displace human beings at various levels. There are so many studies all over the world saying that these 14 jobs, 20 jobs are under threat because of AI, because of technology, because of whatnot. Certainly there is a threat. Certainly there is a risk of certain jobs being lost to automation. But please remember one thing, that ultimately there is no replacement for the human brain. And our qualification, our training, 3 years of articleship, the kind of hard work that we had to put in to get the degree of chartered accountancy, that has been a huge benefit, that gives us all a huge benefit in life, or an advantage over so many other people, and that is undeniable. So don't worry about artificial intelligence being there. It is there. It's a way of life. You can't do anything about it. And the better thing to do is to work with AI as a tool. Earlier, in my generation, we had calculators, which we refer to calculators as a tool. Then came computer. The best thing is to go to Chat GPT or any other, Bing, etc., and figure out how to give the right commands to that software, and you'll get a fantastically drafted thing. So the point I'm trying to make is, AI is there. It is a risk, but we have to figure out how to use that risk for our benefit. Now coming to the practice. In practice, you have two options. One is, three options rather. One is to start your own practice. Second is to join a CA firm, a small firm, mid-sized firm, probably where you did your articles. And third option is to join a large, big four firm. Okay. I guess that's the wrong thing to say. Join the neighbor's firm, or join my firm. You're most welcome. Yeah. And I would feel that, and also secondly, it is not strictly an attest function. You're not really, certifying something which somebody can hold you down. So to that extent, the risk element in an internal audit is far less as compared to a statutory audit or maybe a tax audit. Then there is data analytics. I think this is something that is really going to be very important in the days to come, in the months to come, years to come. All of you would be aware that the government of India is heavily dependent on data. Everything is digitized. They've got tons and tons of data, or gigabytes and gigabytes of data, and how to analyze that data and use it for the purpose of tax administration is what they have learned very well. Now we have to sit at the other side of the table and figure out how to use data analytics for our clients, for our own company, etc. So data analytics is another very interesting area, which it would be great if all of you can get into that. Forensic audit is another very, very important area in light of the various frauds and scams that are being perpetrated. There is a huge need for forensic audits. And every time a case goes into liquidation, etc., generally there is a demand by the people who are owed money to do a forensic audit to find out whether the promoters have siphoned out money from the company for their personal uses. Practice, and they provide a outsourced CFO to the companies. And HR consulting. HR consulting is also extremely important, and I'm sure that in fact every CA firm in the country needs someone to consult them on HR, because we are very poor at it, and therefore this I feel is also a great area for practice. Coming to industry, there are a lot of questions, and I'm told that whenever there is a campus placement at ICAI, and maybe there are 1,000 people, out of 1,000, 990 people want to get into investment banking. Anyone here doesn't want to get into investment banking? Fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So investment banking, private equity, startups, these are the favorite, the glamour boys of today's times, and everyone wants to try and get get a shot at these. But I would feel that if you look at the job market, and because I'm involved in the BFSI sector, I feel that banks, mutual funds, fund management business, private wealth advisory, in these kind of sort of companies, there is a huge scope for chartered accountants. They are looking out for CAs, and if you are really keen on the finance function, then these are the organizations to join. Then there is a company secretary. I mentioned about the second degree, the doing further studies. I think today, when I was having a choice after BCom whether to become a CA or a company secretary or a cost account, only three options were there. CA was the most favorable. At that time, company secretary, the scope of work was very limited. Today, company secretaries are also extremely busy. There is a huge scope. So a double degree of CA and CS, I think, would be a fantastic combo. Then there is in banks and in a lot of companies, there is what is known as a risk officer, chief risk officer. Then there is a chief digital officer. All these are emerging areas, and there's a lot of scope for chartered accountants who have this bent of mind, analytical bent of mind, who are able to think through problems, think through situations, think through as to whether there could be a risk in anything, and if that risk is there, how to mitigate that risk. If you have that kind of an inquisitive mind, then do try and figure out if this is the the career for you. And last is business. Business, I mean, you can do any business, it doesn't matter as long as it's legal. There's no limit, no boundary. But then please remember, on a lighter note, one day somebody will ask you, yeah, business ही करना था तो 3 साल क्यों? Somebody will ask you, but to hell with that person. You do what you want. There is no shame in business. In fact, it's a way of life. So for business also, there is the CA degree is a huge advantage. So this is what I thought I'll share about what are the options available. Then there were questions about investment banking, private equity, international tax, consultancy. A lot of people want to become consultants. M&A, MBA stroke CFA, which degree is advisable. And there's a few people who wanted to know, after having started something, if I switch to something else, is it okay? Or will it affect my career, unless you jump into the pool, you don't know how, you will not ever be able to learn swimming. Okay. So you have to first jump into the pool. Now, investment banking, I mentioned earlier that in the campus placement also there's a huge demand. Let me tell you that as far as investment banking is concerned, there are not, maybe there may not be even 5 jobs for the 1,000 people that you are applying for. So I would feel that if you feel that because now you're a CA and I'll get into an investment banking like this, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but that will not happen. You first need experience, and the example that I give to everyone every time is that when you enter a building, which is say 50 stories, do you straight away go to the 50th floor, or you first land up at the lobby level, at the ground level? Life is like that. You have to start at the ground floor and then climb up. So whether it is a bank, whether it is a private bank, whether it is investment bank, whether it is private equity, first you need to get the experience. So speak to people who are in these industries and find out that what is the basis, what is the funda that is required for being in this line. And then take a job which teaches you that. Have patience. Patience is extremely important. Don't start dreaming about, a pay scale of 10 lakhs and 20 lakhs in the first year. It's good to dream, but be practical, be realistic. Focus first on the knowledge gathering, the experience gathering, and success will automatically come, because quality is a rare commodity today. And the moment your immediate boss realizes that there is good quality here, there is bound to be promotions coming your way. So whether it is in any of these lines that you are wanting to get into, start at the very beginning, as it was said in that famous song of Sound of Music, Important. First is that no matter what you do, no matter which line you get into, don't forget your health, the work-life balance. It's your employer is bound to try and exploit. Every employer tries to exploit the employees, but put your foot down. Health is wealth, and there is no, there is no question of any ambiguity on that front. We have unfortunately seen so many young chartered accountants recently passing away because of the stress levels that CA profession faces. So make up your mind at this stage itself that I will not work on Sundays. And I'm telling you, I have not worked on a Sunday for the last 30 years. I have not worked on a Saturday for the last more than 20 years. And all the deadlines affect me also. I'm a practicing chartered accountant. That the focus, a lot of some people had asked what happens if I get into this and then I'm not happy and I go out of go to some other line. That is okay. In fact, that is the most sensible thing to do. If you're not happy somewhere, not happy in a particular line, definitely make a move, because unhappy mind will always work against you and will make you even more unhappy as the days go by. So definitely make a move, but whatever you do, first focus on that. Try and understand that. If you join a firm where, say for example, in the tax department, tax division of a CA firm, after 1 week, don't start thinking that, no, this is very boring for me, because in 1 week you can't decide whether Income Tax Act is boring or not boring. You need to be there throughout the season, all the season, the entire 12 months, the whole round you need to do couple of times, couple of years, and then you sit in judgment whether this is interesting or not interesting for me. Don't be in a hurry. I know that Maggie can be made in 2 minutes, but careers cannot be made in 2 months. So please remember that. Okay. And the other one is plan B, alternative. Always have a plan B in life, I'll give you an example. Long back in the tax practice, there was one area of practice where when any property was sold, people had to file a form 37I with the income tax department. And that was a money-making racket for the income tax department as well as for a lot of professionals. And some people made a career out of that. The firm was focused only on that. And what happened? One fine day, that whole provision was deleted from the Income Tax Act. So what happens? Suddenly, there is no practice area left. Yeah. My own firm, for example, one partner focused on settlement commission work, which is a part of the Income Tax Act. It was very important. Not nothing, no hanky-panky. But one fine day, in the budget, they said that no more settlement commission. So their whole practice area disappeared overnight. Okay. So you need to be very, very careful nowadays because disruption is the order of the day. And therefore, always have a plan B ready at the back of your mind that if something goes wrong in this particular line that I've selected, I have a plan B. Okay. And don't worry about jobs. There are a lot of jobs in CA firms. If you just go to the firms which are represented by the names on this board alone, or by the core group members of the BCS, I'm telling you, you will get the best of the CA firms in the country, and you will surely learn a lot from these firms. And finally, trying to hard sell the BCS just like the president did. On the back of whatever I've mentioned as to what is there in store for you, what you should be looking out for. First, as I mentioned, focus on what you're doing and try and get the best of that subject. For that, you need to spend time on knowledge gathering. There can be no better place to gather knowledge than the BCS. Some fantastic knowledge databases over here. Fantastic people are over here. Our seniors, you would have heard of Pinakin Bhai Desai and Kishore Bhai Karya, Rajan Vora in the tax front, Dilip Thakkar, etc., Rashmin Bhai Sanghvi on the international tax front, and in the company law side, so many other people are there. For knowledge, you should find time to attend programs organized by professional organizations like the BCS, whether it's the institute or the BCS or any other organization. Presentation skills, having the understanding of how to talk with people. Most of the times when when a CA enters a large, 5-star hotel banquet room where 500 people are there, he will invariably don't know how to converse. So those self-development skills, I think BCS has been instrumental in providing them to so many of us. I am myself a product of the self-development programs of the BCS run by the HR committee. And third is that whatever you do in life to earn money, remember that there are millions of people out there who need to be supported. So volunteerism, selflessness is another quality that is extremely important. Example of how volunteerism works, selfless volunteerism works so very well without any material benefits coming the way of the volunteers. And the time management. A lot of people, often wonder that how somebody is able to do so many things in this short period of time. The time management and the effective communication, delegation, these are qualities that are very, very important. Of course, at present, you will be at the receiving end of the delegation, but the time will come when you will need time management. Let me tell you, is the most important because we are constantly fighting against time. Every day, every week, every month, there will be some deadline or the other in our lives as chartered accountant. And therefore, that is also a great thing to learn at the BCS. And lastly, networking. A number of large firms, today's mid-size, so-called mid-size firms and larger firms, not the big four, but the next, are today a result of the networking that has happened within the BCAs. So there are some very, very fine examples of how people have got together by coming together in the BCS and have made large firms possible. So these are the reasons why all of you should join the BCS immediately. When I became a chartered accountant, one advice given to me by a very close friend was become a member of BCS. I had no idea what BCS was. There were no such programs, but I listened to him and I became a member. And here I am standing. My name is also there on the board. Thank you very much.
See, I really am nervous. When I went down, I saw the desk and I saw 3 CAs and me. And I was like, okay, this is the room I'm speaking to. But you know what? I'm going to talk to you about. There is domain skills, which Amit sir spoke to you about, which is what you've studied. And you have cleared something which is very tough. And pat on the back to all of you, I must say. But in life, because every milestone is also a beginning. And the beginning today, for the rest of your life, you will not only need your domain skills, what you studied and what you're practicing, but you will also need life skills, right? So today I'm going to tell you four things that will help you own every room you walk into. As Sir said, CAs, when they walk into a large room, they go into one corner. I don't want any of you to do that. I want you to walk into any room. It could be a meeting with a boss, it could be a conference, it could be an interview. And I want you to completely own it. Yeah. So I'm going to share with you four very important things that you should remember all your life. All your life. Some of these things you obviously are very long term. Some of these are for the next 1 or 2 years. But these are four things that are extremely important. 3 skills. The first thing I want to tell you, 3 skills that you should continuously work on. How many of you have heard of Canva? How many of you use Canva? Good job. About 20% of the room is saying yes. It's an app that you download. It's an app that will forever help you. Whether it's a resume or a PPT or a flyer or anything that you have. You write emails, you write social media captions, you write WhatsApp messages, you write reports. All of you do that, and I'll tell you something. When you have something in your head, the road between your emails are very tough to write. We all hate writing emails. When you start working, you will realize that it's the most soul-sucking, joy-sucking, moment of life, which is writing emails and explaining stuff to someone. But if you have good writing skills, if you're able to convert whatever you have in your head to paper, so that the other person in front of you understands it with clarity, it's a huge skill. It's really a huge skill, because in life, everything will be about communication. How you communicate with your clients, how you communicate with your boss, how you communicate with your peers, people in your organization. Everything is going to be about communication. You can be really good at your work, but if you're not able to communicate it, to people, to various stakeholders, trust me, you will suffer. So work on your writing skills. And I'll give you a small exercise to do. Do it. A lot of these motivational speakers that you see on YouTube, etc., nowadays recommend this. And I will tell you, it really works. School में ना, at least मेरे time तो school में बहुत साल पहले ये होता था. We were asked to write essays in 100 words, answers in 100 words. It's a brilliant exercise. So take any topic and for 90 days do this, take any topic. Don't do it every day. लग रहा है कि ओहो ये कौन करेगा, अभी इतना सारा और काम है, नौकरियां भी ढूंढनी है. Do it on alternate days. Take a writing prompt from the internet and write 100 words on it. I'll give you an even better idea. You've all cleared something which is really tough. You've been through a very interesting journey. Write about that every day. 100 words every day. Why you started, how you cracked it, how you studied, anything, and make it a part of your LinkedIn journaling. Put it up on LinkedIn. First of all, people will get to know you, right? So just write about your journey of clearing this exam. So many people will want to know this. So many people, because there are so many other aspirants. What a channel. What a channel. Ali Abdal has about 5 million subscribers on YouTube. He speaks about productivity. Young guy. He's, I think, about 25, making a lot of money through his YouTube content and channel. Today, he talks about productivity. He has a book. He has a complete business, but he started off as a doctor in the UK. Right. And when he had just started his residency as a doctor in the UK, he created a channel and he started teaching other people on how to study to become a doctor. That's how he started. He said, I have cleared it and let me just put my knowledge out there. A lot of you today will wonder, what content should I create on LinkedIn? I will come to LinkedIn. Another slide. This is a brilliant idea. That's how Ali started. He just started talking about how he cleared medical in the UK, how he studied, what his timings were like, what subjects did he clear first? How did he start practicing? How did he network? How did he manage his time? ये सब पे उसने छोटे छोटे videos बनाए. And then of course he started making video content on other things also. But that took him to 5 million subscribers. So all I'm saying is that document what you have done. It's a great journey. So it'll also help you to have clarity in your writing. It will also give you excellent content for your LinkedIn. Is that a promise? How many of you are going to do this? Good job. It really is a brilliant exercise. Life is about communication. The next thing is also a part of communication, which is public speaking. How many of you are scared of speaking in public? किसी को अगर मैं बुलाऊं यहाँ पे कुछ भी बोलने के लिए कैसे क्लियर किया? How many of you will say no? पहली बात तो मैं किसी को बुला अगर मैं बोलूंगी ना कोई आके यहाँ पे बोलो तो सब ऐसे. I don't exist. I am not coming up on stage. King was a debate when I was 13. So I come from this very large school in Delhi. And my English teacher was also my house warden. And so she said, let me call your class. And we went up to the auditorium, AV Hall, where the actual debate was supposed to happen after 2 days. And then she told the audience, which was my class, that so-and-so debate and Dipika is going to practice. Let's hear her out. Dipika to collapsed, right? In spite of having practiced for so many days and doing a very good job, Dipika completely fell apart. I went up with shaking legs, hands were shaking. Abhi bhi, thoda thoda. It always happens. Hands were shaking. I forgot my entire script. I had written it. I had practiced it for 15 days. I forgot it. And I remember Mrs. Goswami telling me something which I've never forgotten. Today, my profession is to go up in front of new people almost on a daily basis and teach them new things. And it's one thing what Mrs. Goswami taught me that I've carried with me till date. She said, we fear public speaking because we feel the others are judging us, right? We wonder, wo mere bare mein kya soch raha hai? Am I looking like a fool? Am I making sense? What are people thinking of me? She told me, actually, there are people in the audience who want you to succeed. You don't even know if they're judging you or not. In your head, you are judging yourself. Other thing she told me, which I have not forgotten, and every time you have to do a presentation or a speech like this, you must use it. In every audience, when you go up to speak, in every audience, there will be what I call friendly faces. Yeah. There will be people who are smiling at you. There will be people who are nodding. These are the people who want you to succeed. These are your focal points. Look at these people. You will draw confidence from them. So the next time you have to give a presentation, or the next time you walk into an interview where there are 2 or 3 people, or the next time you're giving a presentation somewhere, look for your friendly faces. And those friendly faces are your focal point. Once you start, you're in so good about yourself. And now, you get into the habit of sharing your ideas, your vision with so much clarity and so much confidence in front of people, right? So practice public speaking as much as possible. 10 years, 15 years down the line, when you get to, leadership positions, when you have teams under you, when you have stakeholders under you, this is a skill that will really, really come in handy. So practice as much as you can. There is something called Postmasters that you can join or whatever, just take any opportunity to speak publicly. Please do it. It's a skill that will really come in handy. Yes? How many of you are going to do that? Not feel scared coming up in front of people and speaking. All right. Your online presence is a gold mine. How many of you are on LinkedIn? What do you do on LinkedIn? Big four companies, everybody you're sending. Is it helping? Is it helping? Good job. What happens? When you send out a connection, people say, okay, connect. Next. उसके बाद क्या होता है? Message, DM. Sir, this is my resume. उसके बाद क्या होता है? उसके बाद क्या होता है? Silence. कुछ होता है उसके बाद? Okay. So, I'll talk to you a little bit about LinkedIn, because I think for any professional, treating LinkedIn as a very long term brand visibility exercise, very long term. I quit working in 2012. Quit working as in quit working with a corporate in 2012. I was working with Kingfisher Airlines, and when that folded up, I was like, "Isko to kuch nahi beat kar sakta." Free flights and all. Now I can't work for anyone. Presentation skills. So I made 2 or 3 workshops, and then I went back to corporates and I said that this is what I do. Hire me, right? And like any other person who's selling a service, lots of cold calling, setting up meetings, going and talking to people about the services, negotiating on price, all of that I had to do like any other trainer, right? Then I think in 2016 or 17, I became very active on LinkedIn, just essay. LinkedIn as well as YouTube, I became very active, right? I started, I like writing, a journey of clearing the CA. These were helpful tips, and people started following me, both on YouTube and on LinkedIn. And then I realized that after about a year of writing, I realized that people started reaching out to me, which is what should happen to you, right? Instead of me reaching out to people and saying, "This is who I am, I'm a trainer, hire me," etc., people started reaching out to me. And today, because of my social media content, I get invited not only for paid activities, I get invited for networking events. I met Rimple, so because of that. So when you start sharing your skills on LinkedIn, you will see opportunities open up for you. Right. So one way of doing it is the way you're doing it. You're creating like a little resume on LinkedIn. You're reaching out to people, you're connecting with people, you're DMing people, which is a good thing to do. Right. So create a full profile, a complete, really interesting. It is the tell me about yourself question that you face in an interview. Right. It's a great place to practice that tell me about yourself. So that summary portion, please fill it up. Write about who you are, what you've cleared, and what is the kind of work that you're looking for. And also a couple of as simple as that. Nobody is going to try and find out, acha, you do writing, acha, you do gardening. They just want to know what sort of a person you are. Will you fit with the team or not? Will you fit with the culture of the with someone, DM them, send them a CV. What is the percentage of getting a response? Very low, very low. But if you engage with them, then they begin to notice you. Then they begin to notice you. Twice you've written a comment, third time you've written a comment under the post, somebody will start noticing you. Also, it takes the pressure of writing content. LinkedIn Pay, another question that I get is, should I write a lot of content? What content should I write? Are you writing a lot of content, all of you, on LinkedIn? और किसी को पता ही नहीं है फिर आप हो कौन. You have to put in content as well. So those 100 words that I've asked you to write on your journey, start posting that on LinkedIn. It's a great way to start. If you feel overwhelmed that LinkedIn is something that I don't want to be on, just start writing your journey of clearing this, and you will find that you suddenly have content, right? So write as much as possible so people get to know you. Engage with people in your industry. Don't just send them connection requests, also follow them. Understand that a lot of senior people will not accept your connection request, right? Follow them, engage with their posts, see that they notice you. That's very, very critical. That's your engagement. In content, you can also curate content. Again, if you can't find time to write content, curate content. Can anyone tell me what is curating content? Yes, yes, something from your industry. You want to share an article with an opinion, or you just found something very interesting on the internet which you want to share. That by itself is, how many of you do that? One hand. It's a great place to. People have started arguing. Full-fledged debate every morning at 9 o'clock. He's not making up those posts. He just finds good content and he's sharing it. in your industry, there will be so many pieces of good content. And the companies that you want to get hired by, find their pages, share their content. They are sharing content on their pages. They're sharing content on their pages. Every day they're putting up something interesting. किसी senior ने कुछ बोला, किसी की interview, कुछ और, find that piece of content from that page, share it to your profile, tag that page. Find very interesting ways of getting noticed. And I guarantee you, if you do this, I guarantee you, you will start getting noticed. And while you may not get, calls for interviews immediately, LinkedIn is a very long-term game. It takes not more than 10 minutes. 10 minutes every day, if you're focused, 10 minutes every day, you will find something interesting to do on LinkedIn. 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. It will really pay off. Really, really pay off. So use LinkedIn to not just DM people and send out CVs, but also to build your visibility and your brand, and treat it, like I said, like a long-term game. Do not treat it like a 1 week, 2 week, but it's a 6-month, 1 year, 2 year game. Also, please build a very positive presence on LinkedIn. Please remember, there are potential recruiters, potential stakeholders, potential investors, and your entire life and career at stake. I have seen people really go ballistic on LinkedIn for things that really they shouldn't be going ballistic for. And now everybody knows, who this person is, where this person works. And, even LinkedIn has become a huge check for people in their personal life also. I do this. I create a lot of content, and sometimes I get a lot of nasty trolling on either Instagram or Facebook. You know what I do? I go search for that person on LinkedIn. Well, I will not do anything because I build a very positive presence on LinkedIn. But now I know where that person works. And in my head, I just feel this organization has a person like this. So be very, very careful. Be very careful and be genuinely positive on LinkedIn, because you're building a brand. And whatever you do on the internet will stay on the internet. A chance negative remark, it's good to debate. It's very good to debate. You don't agree with a point of view, please debate. But keep it positive and keep it interesting and keep it a debate. Keep it healthy, but don't use LinkedIn to share views that you wouldn't otherwise, even with your friends and in your drawing room, right? So treat it very professionally, and LinkedIn will definitely pay back. I assure you, within the next 2 years, sometimes even lesser. For me, it was 6 or 8 months, I started getting calls for workshops, right? So use LinkedIn properly, do all of this, and trust me, you will get. One more thing, when you're DMing people, instead of saying hire me, ask for mentorship. Just say, will you spend 15 minutes with me? I'm a new CA and I'd like to understand journey and I'd really like to take mentorship from you. So instead of directly asking for, do you have a job? Ask for mentorship. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just say, can I have 15 minutes of your time? 80% of people will not even reply to that. There will be 20% people who will. Very senior people. Most senior people like to give advice. We do. We do. We love to share gyan. We like to talk about our experiences. We want someone junior sitting over there, जिसको हम बहुत सारा ज्ञान सुना सकें. We like that. So 20% people will definitely say, okay, up to immediately, calendarize it immediately. Okay, what time, sir? Do so and so time. What time, ma'am? And वो 20 minutes का calendar में डालो, उनको invite भेजो और खत्म. And you're sorted. So instead of asking them for a job, ask them for mentorship, right? And then stay in touch with them. You will benefit in more ways than one. They will now know you. You will have learnt from them, and they may just refer you to someone. If they like you, if they like when they've spoken to you, they may say, okay, you know what? I know of an opening somewhere. Why don't you go and talk to so-and-so person? Everything is about referrals, networking. So use LinkedIn for all of this. Start building a LinkedIn plan where, content curation, building content, seeking mentorship from people, all of this, and you will actually get a lot of benefit. Did you understand all of this? Any questions, any points, you can ask me later, but use LinkedIn as much as possible. The third thing I want to talk about is interviews. How many people have interviews lined up, and how many people are really scared now of interviews? I'm scared. Okay, what scares you about interviews? Tell me honestly. You have an interview call, you want that job. So you feel overwhelmed that I want this job. What else? Commonly asked questions. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? Kya malum? I know. So prepare. I saw a lot of questions on interviews, questions that you'd sent in. One, prepare. Never walk into an interview thinking, I will wing it. Every possible question you should prepare. Every possible. From tell me about yourself to where do you see yourself in 5 years from now? What are your hobbies? How did you crack this? How many attempts did you crack it in? Questions about your personal life, who else at home, mother, father. Prepare. Prepare. When you prepare, you feel confident and you also have the subject matter with you. Also, prepare on the person. So if you get a mail saying that you will be meeting so and so person, go check that person out on LinkedIn. Information beforehand gives you a lot of confidence. Always. So go look up that person on LinkedIn, see what is it that they write about, what kind of person. Do they sound like a humorous person? Do they sound like a strict person? Do they what is written about them? That kind of information just makes you feel more prepared and confident when you walk into an interview. So don't just prepare on the subject and don't just prepare for the interview, also prepare on the person, and also prepare on the culture of the organization. So go check out the page of the company as well. Yeah, they'll be posting a lot of interesting things on the page. Naya kya ho raha hai, koi naya ad release hua, koi naya marketing campaign ho raha hai. Treat every interview like a conversation. It is not an interrogation where you are going to sit there, people are going to ask you questions. It is a conversation, right? And you can converse about anything, right? You have seen some new ad somewhere, you can talk about that, right? So ultimately, you are showing how interested you are in the organization, how much you know about the organization, and also you're an interesting person to speak with now. Attitude over aptitude. Always. People will want you in the organization. If you come across as someone who's eager, interested, can speak about a variety of things, right? So prepare as much as possible, not just about your domain, but also on the person, the culture, anything new that they may have done, something interesting that they have launched. You should know all of this and read the job description very, very carefully. And I'll give you a tip. Job descriptions, more often than not, are made with a lot of care. उस पे ना वो 4 लोग बार बार उसको स्क्रैच करके फिर नया बना के बहुत बहुत टाइम लगा के जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन बनता है, राइट? दैट जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन कैरीज कीवर्ड्स इन द सेंस वो लंबा सा, उसमें 8 पॉइंट्स हैं, ठीक है, कीवर्ड्स हैं. अब सबने ना उसको बहुत टाइम लगा के बनाया है, ठीक है. When you use keywords from the job description, ऐसे ना एंटीने खड़े हो जाते हैं. So suppose the job requires you to be good at Excel. कहीं आपने job description में पढ़ा Excel and you're genuinely good at Excel, right? So you say, I'm also very good at Excel. Ping, it was there on the job description, right? So this is a smart way of handling an interview. You are good, but you also have to be smart in an interview. So never lose your cool. Prepare on all of this. Prepare, read the JD very carefully. What exactly will be required from you in that particular role and that particular job? Prepare as much as possible. Everything is about preparation. And then even after that, if you don't know something, you say you don't know. Never be scared to say you don't know. You will not look any less. Genuinely, if you don't know something, just say ki, I don't know this. It's very interesting you asked me this question. I don't know, but now that you've mentioned it, I will go look it up. Don't wing it. Don't give half answers. Admit you don't know. And do it with authenticity and do it with honesty. Do it with a smile. I don't know. Right? How many of you feel scared of saying, I don't know? You don't feel scared at all. You don't feel scared? None of you feel scared? Good job. Very good job. Only 3 hands. Well done. The last thing I want to tell you is to work on your body language, your presence. There is this TED talk by Amy Cuddy, which I want you to go watch. Has any of you seen it? It's a TED talk. It has, I think, some 25 or 26 million views on just YouTube. It's a TED talk by Amy Cuddy. And there's also a book. She's also written a book called Presence. And Amy Cuddy says that, there is a link between our mind and body in the way that when we train our body to look confident, we automatically feel confident. I'll give you an example. When you're with friends, you're in a safe situation, your body language automatically is good. You smile, you take up space, you look confident because your mind is sending signals to your body that this is a safe space and you can have fun. You can say what you want to, right? The opposite is also true. If you train your body to look confident, it sends signals to your mind that this is a safe space. You can feel confident. And that is the essence of her talk. It is so true. I can't tell you. Every week, I do workshops with senior management in big corporates, right? Now, and I do behavioral skills, which is all of this, confidence and presentation skills and all of that. So these are people, who are sitting in the room and thinking, Arey, but I do so much revenue for my organization. What more do I have to learn about how to speak? I'm already bringing in so much revenue, right? What more do I have to learn about presentation skills? So when I'm walking into that room and there are those 20, 30 people, I know they are thinking like that. I know. Yeah. So when I open the door and I walk in looking nervous, I have lost the battle. I've completely they will not listen to me. They will just not listen to me because I will not look like someone who will be able to convince them that, yes, you have something to learn from me. I can also teach you something. I will not look like that. So every time I open the door to any difficult room, an interview in your case, for example, 5 seconds, just breathe, stand tall, tuck your stomach in and then walk in. You will look like someone people will want to hire. Just, I have seen this. People will open the door, poke their head in. May I come in? Don't ever do that. Walk in like you belong. Walk in like you want to belong. Even in seminars and meeting rooms, I see people do that. Dheere se darwaza khol ke, one head will pop in. Then they will go and take the last seat somewhere, Always be that person who looks like they own the room and who looks like they belong there. You will get the job. That's what I wanted to say. In life, there is domain skills, and you've done a brilliant job with that. But in life, there is also life skills, and there's also your presence. And half the battle is your presence, your image, and how you're able to attract opportunities. Kheenchni padti hain opportunities. Opportunities, sometimes they fall into your plate, and sometimes you have to really grab them. So be that person who is ready to grab any opportunity in life. That's it from me. Thank you so much and all the very best to all of you. I'm still nervous that I'm the only non-CA in this room. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Any questions from floor for any of the speakers? Raise your hand if you have any questions. None? You have.
Ma'am, in LinkedIn, can we use like I want to start my journey as a chartered accountant? Can we use like day one of my 365 day of my journey?
Yeah, all of these small things, how you want to pack, that's called packaging. How you
Okay.
package it is up to you. So you say day 1, day 2, day 3. But remember, it should be something you'll be able to continue with. So I always say, if you're starting your content journey on LinkedIn, leave out the frills. Just write. Just write. Ek hashtag de do. My CA journey or my journey, whatever, ek hashtag de do. If people are liking your content and they want to follow you, they'll follow that hashtag.
Okay.
It's as simple as that. So, अपना एक unique hashtag बनाओ और उसको नीचे लिख दो.
हाँ.
And then you can also write, if you want to follow my journey and if you want to learn from it, follow this particular hashtag. But keep the packaging as simple as possible.
Okay.
Right? So you can call it day 1, day 2, day 3 also. That's your packaging. Something that you can be consistent with. But I'm honestly telling you, it's a great idea. Do it. For 1 year, if you want to write about this, you must.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Hello. So it's not a question, actually. I have a suggestion, if I may.
Sure.
To everybody over here, you might be knowing this. So this is about job hunting process. So like ma'am mentioned that you should be using keywords more often, right? So there's a Chrome extension. I'm not sure if I should be saying this, but there's a Chrome extension. It's called Jobalytics. You should probably write this down. Job Analytics. The rest will figure it out. So what it does is, let's say you open any given job vacancy on LinkedIn. Okay, so you make your resume, you upload it on the extension, and then whatever job vacancy is there, you just run that extension. It will try and match up your keywords in the resume with the keywords that are given in the job description. And I wouldn't say that you have to match 100% of the keywords because वो fake लगता है. So but try to maintain a ratio of 30 to 50%. It's sometimes worked in my case, but I think there's not a lot of people who know about this. So that's a good thing.
It's not a bad idea, but I will just have one thing to say about resumes. Keep your resumes as authentic as possible. Huh? So do that. Run it and see what is matching. Maybe you want to include 1 or 2, 3, 4, like you said. But your resumes is the first thing that you send out. First thing that you send out. So on Canva, if you have Canva, for example, you'll be able to see a lot of sample resumes. Go and look up all these sample resumes and see what matches with who you are and your style and everything. And then take a template from there and make a resume over there. This is actually a good idea, but keep your resume also authentic. Maybe match a few. I did not know about this.
And how do we tackle the question of salary expectations in a job interview?
Very, very good question. Very tough question. Today also, when I have a paid activity and I'm talking to a corporate and they say, how much will you charge? Maybe 10 बार सोचती हूँ कि what am I going to say? To tackle this question, I would say that first of all, you should know industry standards completely, And while I know that a lot of motivational speakers are now saying, ki, "Arey, ask for your own money and, whatever, but you should know industry standards. And every JD comes with a band. It comes with a band, that organization will have a band. I'm assuming so all organizations have a band. You should ask them, what is the band for this particular role, So if the band is, let's say, 10 to 15 lakhs, depending upon what the skills are, first ask them the band, right? But don't say some random number just because you think that. So do your research. Do your research on the industry. Do your research on Glassdoor. Ask people, which is why a network is very, very important. Building a network of people who are working places like these, are very, very important because you can ask around. I started my career in advertising. I knew a lot of people in advertising. I would ask, कि Ogilvy में कितना होता है, एक servicing का कितना होता है, right? So this kind of research which will be a mix of research that you do from various places, including people, will help you to understand what does this organization pay. And straightforward, if you don't know, straight away asking what is the band for this role will also give you an idea how much they're going to pay. And yeah, so that is what I would suggest, because you're just new into the this thing. So it's first to understand how much the organization pays for that band. Yeah, I was going to ask you who would like to.
Yeah, so I agree with her. Most of the, so if I'm talking from the perspective of a CA firm, I don't know about industry, but when you go for an interview to a CA firm, generally there are bands, as she rightly said, that freshers, how much would the firm give to a fresher? If you want to be at the higher end of the band, I think don't even talk about the salary first. First, prove to that person that you're good. Today, every single firm of my size, for example, is really looking out for good people, quality people who can give good value for money. If we find good people, then we are willing to pay the highest in that band, And lot of when I've interviewed people and have hired people who have stayed adamant about the salary being at the highest end, but because that person had impressed me in the interview in terms of the technical knowledge and quality, I was okay to pay the highest band. So if you go there in the interview, like she gave so many examples, when you are entering a room, don't be this, don't be that, you have confidence. Same way, if your mindset is only about the salary part, then you're going to get stuck. Because that is something which is not the priority for that person, for the hirer. The priority today for CA firms is good quality people. People who know their stuff well, people who show a long-term perspective in being with the firm for a long term. And third, who have good command over, English and over speaking, etc. That is why what she suggested, write 100 words, expand that to 200 words, maybe after some, few weeks. That is extremely important because how you speak, how you write is definitely going to add value to the salary, add numbers or a few zeros to the salary that you can expect.
I just want to add something to this. It's a very, very good point that Sir said. Nowadays, the world has changed from when I had started my career. But today now we do a lot of, I see on LinkedIn, on YouTube, I see this trend where itne mein itna hi. I will not walk beyond 6 o'clock. I have a work-life balance, I see all of that and I get you. I completely get you. The world is a very different world. I think I come from an era, we all come from an era where we really, really worked very hard. India has changed, But I just want to say one thing to you. Whatever you are doing in your initial years, remember, yes, you are working for the company. Yes, you are doing it from the organization. But much more than that, you are doing it for yourself. You are learning. The more you raise your hand for projects, even if it eats into your time, you are learning. You are showcasing to the organization that you're willing to learn and you're genuinely wanting to learn. You're genuinely wanting to contribute, right? So yes, the organization will get a lot from it, but you will get even more because the more you work, the more you will learn. The more you will be ready for bigger roles because you have learned much faster just by doing more, right? So be that person who in your initial years is that person who is willing to just learn. These are called half chances. There is this book I was reading where the person said that these are all called half chances. कहीं से एक वो आधा chance उसको grab करो. I will do this because you will learn. So be that person who raises your hand and says, I will do it. Doesn't matter if it's beyond 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, because you will add to your skills. Money will follow.
Yeah. Also, just would like to keep one thing at the back of your mind that when you are thinking about your salary, that salary has it's two sides of a coin. For you, it is your income. For the person who's going to pay you, it's an expense. And nothing comes free in this world. There's no free lunch in this world, So every firm will have a particular multiple for every designation that if I'm giving a salary of, say, for example, 1 lakh per month, that is 12 lakh per annum, how much of revenue that person needs to work on in order to justify that salary. So maybe some firm will have a 3 multiple, 3x. So if your salary is 12 lakhs, they will expect you to give work worth 36 lakhs. So otherwise, that firm is not going to make money. So 3 or 4 times, 3 or 4 multiple x is a typical multiple that any normal firm will have. So keep that in mind before trying to negotiate your salary, because somebody will give you that salary, but that the person is going to extract that work from you, and you need to be ready to provide that much of output.
Good evening, sir. My question is that I am interested in the banking sector as in the credit roles. With the AI and machine learning coming over, what is the future of chartered accountants in the credit team?
The Reserve Bank doesn't care for AI. Okay, Reserve Bank holds the chief compliance officer, the chief risk officer of the bank, responsible if anything goes wrong. So AI, as I mentioned earlier also, it's a tool to help you, but ultimately it is the the brain of the person which is going to matter, the natural intelligence. And if you are interested in the banking sector and in particularly in risk and that kind of a field, there's a fantastic there are huge opportunities, because more and more banks are coming into existence, new banks are getting licenses, and there are no people. Today, if a bank's chief compliance officer resigns, that bank is finding it so tough to find a replacement. Same thing with CRO. These are posts for which there is demand, but there is hardly any supply. So AI has got nothing. I mean, I don't think it is going to impact in any way the jobs of these people. Because, but you have to be ready that it's a huge, huge responsibility. You will have a lot of stress. Be ready for stress. Going home at 6:30 in the evening, maybe not possible. 8:30, चलता है, ठीक है. But anyway, if you are going to work in the banking sector, you'll be in BKC. BKC say anyway you can't get out before 8:30, so don't worry.
True.
Good evening. My question is that as freshers, I guess majority of us have a lot of fields in mind, or at least 2, 3 of profiles that we want to apply to. So in the 3 years of articleship that we've done, various things that we've done cater to different roles. So should we make separate resumes for separate profiles that we are doing only for that work section?
It's good to modify your CV slightly to match what you're looking for, because so while you will not, obviously you will not change your CV so much, but yes, you can modify it to suit the role. That's a good thing to do. Sometimes we modify it as per the organization also, right? So yes, you can do that. So by and large, all your content will remain the same, but you may want to focus on a few areas that you think are apt for this particular role. No harm in that. No harm. Keep everything, just highlight as per the role that you're applying for. No harm in that. In fact, it's a good practice to follow.
Thank you. Another question. This stage, we are trying to learn about roles by talking to people in that field, or as you said, that people connect on LinkedIn also. With discussion, we also would like to know that what package is that profile offering. If okay to ask the person what.
Not right away. Not right away. Not till you see. A lot of people will, with the JT, say, if you go to LinkedIn jobs, they will have a band over there also. This will pay so and so, right? But my suggestion would be initially go for the interview. If nothing else, it's a practice run, right? Don't be hung up on knowing how much so that conversation can happen once you've understood the details. Sometimes just by knowing that, you may say no, and then you missed out on a huge opportunity. So currently, don't limit yourself to that. If you're getting a call, if you're applying, go for that interview. If nothing else, you've met someone, you've understood something about a role and an organization. And that conversation, once they see you, they understand your skills, they may also, like we said, there's a band. So they may also look at offering you a larger compensation package. So don't limit yourself. Don't ask that as the first thing. Apply and go. Lots of learning in appearing for interviews. And every interview will just improve your confidence. Just answering questions will improve your confidence.
Thank you, ma'am.
Just one suggestion. When you go for a job, in a CA firm, I'm talking about practicing firms. Don't be very clear whether you want to do audit or tax. Many times we get CVs and we ask, what you want to do? I can do anything, audit or tax. I'll not call that person, because I'm not interested in that person, because that person himself or herself doesn't know what he or she wants to do. So be very clear. If you're going to larger firms or mid-sized firms, for heaven's sake, don't say I'm okay with audit or tax, anything, whatever you give me. That will not work. That firm will reject you. Yeah, sorry, you were saying.
Good evening, ma'am. Good evening, sir. My question to you, ma'am. You said write on LinkedIn. So shouldn't it be quantity over quality over quantity? Because I want to write, but I'm not sure if people want to read that. And I'm at the very beginning. So I fear that my quality might not be so good. And if I write so much, people might see and just ignore it. I want my content to be impactful.
Yeah. Content will be impactful once you start practicing writing content. Initially, it will not be. Also, whenever you create content, don't think about your audience. You want to do it. treat it like your own diary. It doesn't matter whether one person is reading it, two people are reading it. You write it from your heart and you write it genuinely, right? Your audience will find it. Your audience will find you. It doesn't matter, you know. So, and what you're saying, quantity over quality, if you write only because 7 times in a week to main likhungi, then your quality will suffer. If you write because daily you want to write something, you have something to share. Today I want to write about day 1, day 2, whatever, then write. Even if you write once a week, it's fine. You decide your cadence and you decide your consistency. Once a week likhna, once a week likho. 7 times a week likhna, 7 times a week likho. It doesn't matter. But don't limit yourself by thinking कि लोग क्या कहेंगे. लोगों को कुछ नहीं पढ़ा. लोगों के पास बहुत सारे और लोग हैं पढ़ने के लिए. So you write. And when you start writing, you will just keep getting better. Otherwise, you will not improve, right? So, and also there will be some posts that will be very nice. Some posts that you will also look and say कि ये क्या है. But that's okay. That just let it go. So write and enjoy the process of writing. Don't take pressure. If you take pressure, then you will not be able to continue with it. You really have to enjoy. Ali Abdal has written this book called Feel Good Productivity, saying that you are good at things that you enjoy doing. So you have to enjoy it, right? Enjoy writing and write as much as possible. It doesn't matter.
Thank you.
Yeah. You can all follow me on LinkedIn. You'll find me as Dipika Singh.
Hello everyone. Hello sir. So as you already said that a lot of people want to get into investment banks and unfortunately there are limited opportunities there. But the fact is we have to start somewhere. So how do we start and what are the alternatives available? Like shall we go into broking firms or shall we go into banks? Or if we are going into banks, what are the profiles should we look for? Or are there any profiles in CA firms which we can start a career in finance domain?
So, I would suggest that you join a bank rather than anything else. If you join a CA firm, then it would have to be the bigger ones, you know, the big four or the real big, the other non-big four, but
Top 10.
decent sized firms, which have a BFSI vertical. So if you join a CA firm, large firm with a BFSI vertical, you will get good experience and you will also have a good network. You'll come to know, you'll start knowing who are the people in this industry. Unless you network well, whichever field that you want to join, unless you network and find out who are the decision makers or who are the people who are known. Say, for example, pick up any financial newspaper and you'll read those front full page ads about BFSI Summit, for example. Mint regularly does it. Full page ad is there with, 20, 30 photographs and all that. Always read from top to bottom these kind of ads and find out who are the people. So in a CA firm which has a BFSI vertical, you will get good experience, but you may get only say audit experience or some maybe tax experience. But even if you get that, I think that's a great start. This will investment banking, private equity, etc. All these fields you will get a good job after 5, 10, 15 years. You will not get a good job which you want just now. You will not get it because you're not ready for that, first of all. Okay. In a investment bank or a private equity company, there will be 5 or 6 people team. In that 5 or 6 people, how would you expect to get in as a fresher? There's no way you'll get in. So first understand what is the business of that company, of that vertical by joining an organization which will offer you that. So CA firm or a bank, in a bank, whatever job you get, take it. Because banks generally after some time will rotate you. And that's when you will have 360-degree experience of a bank, how the different, verticals work, credit appraisal, risk, internal audit, etc., etc. Treasury is extremely important. If you get a job in treasury, jump at it. Forget the salary. Don't look at the salary. Because that experience you will never get anywhere else. So maybe that would be a start for you.
Okay, so thank you. So another question. Actually, I was initially interested in internal audit and I had a talk with a lot of people about it. And the people who are working in Big Four, they told me that if you join Big Four in internal audit, you will be confined to a limited industry. Like you would be working in a single or max two industries. So how is it in another, like other CA firms, top 10 or top 20? Would I get a diversified or multiple industry experience, or will I be restricted to few industries?
You are asking the question to the wrong person, because I will never tell you to join a Big Four, frankly, because
Okay.
of the very reason that you mentioned. You
Yeah.
will get stuck in a particular
It will be very
sort of
niche.
vertical.
Hmm,
So
hmm.
if you join if you get job, if you get a job in an internal audit team of say BFSI sector, you are stuck there for life.
Yes.
Whereas larger, I mean, not
Mid-size
Big
firms.
Four, mid-sized firms would have a wide range of internal audits, and they don't have the luxury of having, 100 people in BFSI, 100 in manufacturing and all that.
Of course.
The same 50, 40, 30, 40, 50 people are doing all the audits.
Hmm.
If you are interested in internal audit, do not join a large firm, a Big Four, join a mid-sized firm. You will
Okay.
get lots in BCAs itself.
Okay.
I can't take names over here. I don't want to take names, but you will definitely find good firms. There are so many, and today I sit in on the board of companies in the audit committee, interviewing auditors. The others, the CA firms, and there is no dearth of good CA firms in Bombay, non-Big Four, who are fantastic in audits. There's no dearth.
Thank you so much.
So while Dipika mentioned about seeking mentorship, I just wanted to convey. So we also do, our committee also do event on mentoring. Amit Bhai is one of our mentor. President is one of our mentor. So BCS also gives opportunity without any cost attached to young CAs to seek membership, whether they have just started their practice or whether they have just or maybe they are confused about entering industry, or maybe they have started some business. There are questions like how we have varied questions here. For mentoring also, we have people like mentees who have questions on various courses. They want to maybe move ahead in some particular course, I'm in field, or maybe they want to go for a particular profile. How do they go ahead? How do they manage their practice? How do they manage their receivables? How do they manage their team? There, various questions they have, and they seek learn from experienced chartered accountants people. We also have a lot of people from industry who do mentoring. So yeah, BCS, please do keep a lookout for our upcoming mentoring sessions. It will surely help you. Maybe after a few months you'll be little clear also what do you want to do, and maybe for growing ahead you'll need some mentoring. Also, our committee organizes residential refresher course. I joined BCS 5 years back just because I like organizing and volunteering, and this was about giving back to profession also. But then, of course, I saw a lot of senior people also, and as they were talking, I didn't know how to interact and all. But I went to events like RRC and all. RRC is residential refresher course. So 3-4 days you are there out of the city. There are technical sessions, but there are also some entertainment evenings. There are some short visits around happening, and there are networking sessions. And you interact. I have friends, and I know CAs from different cities, from south and north, cities that I've never visited also. And I know people over there now. So I know if I have any work there, or if I'm stuck sometime, if I know if I need something, in that area, I know whom to contact, which professionals to contact there. So RRC not only gives you a platform to learn something, but also to network. There are various such initiatives happening at BCS. We have one RRC happening in February, 22nd to 25th February at Mahabaleshwar this time, because yeah, we are going back to our roots. We started with Mahabale, like those were initial days. This being 75th year, we are again doing it Mahabaleshwar. So please join. Like a lot of young, leaders are born there. So yeah, I'll call upon Janam to. Our early board is like till 26 January. So just check the announcements if you want to join for RRC. I'll call Janam. And RRC is only for BCS members, the general RRC we call it as. We also have other RRCs like NDS, I mean accounting standards and GST RRCs and all. But this RRC is multifaceted for general practitioners. It's only for BCS members. So yeah, Janam.
So before presenting a formal vote of thanks, I like to make one announcement. As you know that BCS has been, having many events. So we also have one of the event for the youth. BCS, the Human Resource Development Committee of BCS is organizing a youth refresher certified course for professionals below 35. It is from 12th to 14th April at Atlas Skilltech University campus, Mumbai. It is a certified management program for CS. It is a 360-degree course on self-management, people management, and client management. It will help you in developing and branding skills, impactful communication, networking skills, stress management, and many more. The course will strengthen your CA profile. You will get a prestigious certificate from Atlas Skilltech University upon completion of this course. The fee structure of this course is as below. Early bird BCS members have to pay 1,999, non-BCS member 2,499. If you enroll in next 10 days, the course fee will be 999 for members and 1,499 for non-members. So this is the course being organized by Bombay Chartered Accountants Society for the new qualified youth chartered accountants. Now, both of the speakers for tonight, Ameet Patel, our past president, he has very candidly shared his experience and the professional journey that he has gone for the last 37 years and more. So it will have really helped you. And also Dipika ji, who has told you how you own the room. So I request all the young chartered accountants present over here to please present a round applause for both the speakers. Okay. I'll invite Labdi Sanghi, the ranker, the 47th ranker, to please come on the stage. Share the experience.
Yeah, so is 20th and still I can't actually forget 9 January. The day when I saw the results. I also just shared a video on Instagram where I just saw the pass and I was like out of the world. The feeling was unimaginable. And 15 to 20 minutes later, I also saw that I have a rank, and that was like I was totally shocked, and I could feel that all the efforts in the 4.5 to 5 months have paid off, and to see the happiness and the feeling my parents had, it was so emotional and the best feeling till date for me. I hope that I am so sure that you guys must also face the same, like faced as in felt the same. So yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Labdi, and heartiest congratulations to you. What an achievement. But I think you share this with the entire audience, don't you? And I hope today's evening has given you a lot of insight in what is it that you need to do, right? Because all of us are learning. I know for myself that I wish BCS had happened much earlier in my life, because I see that there are members who are in their 20s, in their 30s, in their 40s, going right up to the 80s and beyond. Like one of the participants at the RRC was 90 plus years. We had, in fact, at Reimagine, the oldest participant was a 92-year-old CA. And he had come in and he was walking without any aid. Imagine at the age of 92 to be wanting to come and reimagine your future. And the youngest participant was a 22-year-old, again a CA. He has the whole life ahead of him. In fact, मैंने math किया और सोचा 75 होता तो उसका भी हम लोग advantage करते कि we would have said between the two of them, there are 75 years. Please be a part of BCS. I was told that by my boss and I hadn't listened to him then. But then I got sense later on. And so I listened to Nandita Parekh, who is also one of the mentors in the, in the mentoring program. Send us your CVs because they will be when we put up the registration, when we open the registration, we'll be putting up the, what is it that you want from your mentor? And we'll do the matchmaking. I promise you that. Come to the RRC because after the sessions, that is your chance to go and speak to a CFO. That is your chance to connect with the younger members because there is a special event that we have 40 under 40. So that's when you will form groups, you will be able to connect with people. And come on, yeah, you guys deserve a holiday, right? 4 days in Mahabaleshwar, eating strawberries and getting connected to the best of the minds in the profession. Where else will you get the chance? So please take that opportunity. Palabdi, from BCS, we will have a free membership given to him of BCS. So I want you there. You will have to pay for the fee to the RRC. But I want you there because this is an opportunity you will get to connect with, everyone. And I'm sure you have now a lot of people wanting to connect with you. So thank you very much. We'll have a cake cutting session. We'll request any other rankers in the audience because we did have some 5 names and of course.
So my fees will also be paid by her.
With pleasure, with pleasure. So can we have the cake and we'll, yes. So this time, interestingly, I don't know if you all know about it, but this time, interestingly, we had a lot of rankers from Mumbai and a lot of them came from HR college. Please raise your hands up if you all are from HR. Great. And I don't know if your vice principal, Dr. Naveen Punjabi, is here in the audience because I had connected with him. And we also have, I think, twins from HR college, AIR2 and AIR8. Yes, Sanskriti, and I don't remember her sister's name. I spoke to them, but they are today at the EIRC talking to an audience about how to crack the exam. So that's why they couldn't come. Thank you so much. For the rest of the those in the audience, we will start the felicitation. Ameet bhai, can I request you to just do a few? We'll start with this row. Just please come one. Yeah, just form a line. This from here we can start. Hand.